Check. There go my glasses. Maybe I shouldn't read comments. Just waiting for the peeps. And we are live. Charles, you finally got the notification. That's awesome. Hey, Matt. So we're in Canada. I love Canada. I've been to Banff because I'm fancy. I've been to Gander because they have a tiny little airport there, and it used to be one of the spots where, when flying to the UK, it would be one of the changeover places. And it's like one tiny building, and you got to get off the plane on steps, like Joe Biden. And then you got to tiptoe down platforms like Trump. 210, hey, Dadgad, you're in Wales. What part of Wales? Indy Grove, how's it going, man? Charles Wagner, yeah, so let's get into this. Most publishing houses I work with don't even want rock or metal in their catalogue if it doesn't include a bit of rap or EDM elements. Yeah, it's EDM and rap both have sex, drugs, rock and roll. You might find rock and metal in the next to the, Christian woodwind section of pious good boys. You're in Newport. So waiting for the peeps to come in. Earlier stream today. I finished everything I had to do. Went to the gym. Didn't do much, but I went. So I'm still nursing a neck injury. I did it doing pull-ups in a public park. There's a place I'd take my daughter, and while she's playing, there's a adults area which has pull-up bars and things for dips and that type of thing. So I go mad there. I might have pushed a few too out, few because I watched some stuff on going to failure is apparently you get better results, but then going to failure also gets you injured because your form starts going to shit on the last ones. Charles Wagner. It's funny though because I look up what they're doing with Ramstein right now, and they're going after him for having sex, drugs, and rock and roll vibe. Yeah, it sounds like it's the same type of stuff that Def Leppard were doing, where they'd have like understage orgies and shit. Ryan Swain, conspiracy theories, common Valhalla sausage win. Hell yeah. Donald, did Kurt Cobain have a ghostwriter? The way he played live and him as a person generally doesn't add up to the stuff Nirvana post Bleach did. Bleach is completely different, I'll give you that. But I just think he matured. I honestly think it was just, a lot of people, they save their best work for their debut because that's the stuff they've been working and working and working on before you get signed. I just think he was a very creative guy. Hey Julian, how's it going, man? When I was at my strongest, sets. I do sets, push-ups and pull-ups about 80% capacity throughout the day. Sit-ups, you mean, right? Sit-ups, push-ups, and pull-ups to about 8%. Yeah, I was doing push-ups there too. They have a little bar on the floor, so you don't have to put your hands on the fucking boiling Florida tarmac. So there's a little bar, so it's not a true push-up. You don't get the full, but it's way better for form with doing it off a bar on the floor. Dad Gad. Cobain was a great songwriter. You would have got watered down by the money eventually. Everyone does, yeah, yeah, yeah. He went. What he wanted to do, Kurt Cobain. I think he wanted to make something a certain amount. I think it's something like $10 million. He wanted to make that much money and then quit so he could just be a junkie. Then the Sprog came along. He got a kid, so I think that probably stressed him out. Plus Courtney, you know, he just took the coward's way, What did Dave Mustaine? Dave Mustaine was asked about him. I think it was like a couple of months after his death, and he was doing. I think it was French TV, and they asked Dave Mustaine, what did he think of Kurt Cobain? And Dave looked at him and said, "Well, he's a good shot." I love gallows humor. Leg raises, no sit ups. Leg raises. I haven't tried that yet. That would probably be good for my back because my injury. It'd be good, I think. Stretch it out. Yeah, maybe I'll try them. So what's new? What's crack-a-lack? Anyone? Anyone buy any gear recently? I might be getting rid of my 19. I think it's a 1959 or 1960 Gibson, the semi-acoustic that I used on the Killing Joke. I might be trading that out soon. Yeah, Julian, I noticed hanging in general is great. But what I do is I do the pull ups and the dips at the end of my workout because that really stretches out my lower back because I got a back injury. And just my fat ass dangling below my back stretches me out. Dadgad, can't think of any big bands that don't get altered by mansions and cars and keep consistently writing great songs. Yeah, that's why the Beatles were always about the music, which was impressive. Apart from when they just got sick of each other. The Beatles was impressive how they kept on going. They got stronger and stronger, if anything. Charles Wagner, Dave Mustaine's new Kramer V is pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty expensive for a Chinese guitar, but I love Kramer. I haven't actually tried a new Kramer. Every time somebody asks me about a Super Strat style guitar, I always say get an old USA Kramer because I believe they were built in Japan but assembled in the USA. So they say, in New Jersey. March 12th. Yep, missed the old Mustaine. Donald, I think Echoes by Pink Floyd is the greatest track ever written and recorded. Mm. Charles Wagner. I'm saving up for another 80s tribute Gibson V. Yeah, the Kirk Hammett V looks cool. Ryan Swain. Owen, at 22, am I your youngest viewer? No. That's probably Jacob. Charles Wagner. That's inflation, Owen. Mar 12, I'm 20. LOL. See, we got the young ones. I got to get them. I got to get the young blood young and stop them from going down my fucking DAW vintage 30 death spiral. Like, choose another path. Get another bunch of 20-year-olds and challenge each other. Charles, the Kramer I got was set up at Sweetwater. Came to me in pristine condition. I guess Sweetwater are the best, right, out of the big, um, the massive stores. Agent Reckless, wow, I'm 23. I thought I was the youngest. Yeah, boy. Get out of my chat, old man. Dad, just bought a 2008 Japanese Edwards LP. Nice. Absolutely stunning. Urinates all over the Gibsons and stays in tune. Yeah. Nice. Donald. I wanted the Jerry Cantrell signature Les Paul, but it's too pricey. Yeah. Indie Grove. I like the KK Downing style V. Yeah. Every time I see that guitar, I think of him going back and forth with the neck. Where he fucking rocks. Learn to wield. Yeah. Like it's an extension of your body. Slam that thing in your crotch. Fucking cock it. Julian, Sweetwater is crazy with their customer service. They call you to ask how you like a pack of guitar picks. Yeah. And they always put the case candy in there, literal candy. So the next few days are going to be glorious for me because I'm on keto, and every month I take 2 days of not keto. So I have sugar and shit so that you don't go insane. So I'm so I've been eating carbs and sugar and stuff today. So now I just feel fucking tired. I guess the opposite effect on me than keto. If you have coffee and meat on keto, you feel like you've been drinking fucking wolf's blood. It's like you're ready to fucking attack. You have carbs and sugar, you're like, I want to lay down. Keto is metal as fuck. Charles, I got my Sweetwater rep on speed dial. Like, hey Steve, how's it going, man? Julian, brutal fatigue is why I'm an agonist. Charles Wagner, I'm gearing up for a fast. Almost done with my Chuck Taliker album. Oh, cool. Yeah, fasting's good. That's what I do after the carb binge. The first morning, I don't eat at all until like late afternoon, and then it helps you get into ketosis quicker. Dad, Gad, have I experienced keto flu yet? Yes. Yeah. I've had all the keto symptoms. At first, you like it's you got yoo-hoo shooting out of your ass, but I don't get that anymore. I think my body's getting used to just eating protein, but it makes me feel so much better. And all the blood work I was getting, everything was like completely perfect. Julian, I read that as your wife just pulled off Charles. I was like, who's Charles? Lucky Charles. Yeah, carbs causing fatigue is why I'm 99% carnivorous. I've noticed vegetables don't do shit when it comes to making you feel any better. The only thing that I really feel a benefit of is celery. Celery makes me feel good, when I eat it. Broccoli and green beans, all that shit. It's like it doesn't give me any um, positive effects after eating it, apart from mad farts. Charles Wagner, my wife got me on fasting after I quit drinking. That's the hardest aspect for me. It's not drinking booze on keto. It fucking sucks. But I'm not going to drink anymore. It wasn't. It makes me too happy. So it's like, and it giveth and it taketh away when it comes to the next day. Steve, life is good. Starting a new band, looking for a drummer, sweating it out in the garage under the hot Texas sun. Hey man, Texas is the place if you're looking for musicians. There's fucking thousands of them. Charles, my liver enzymes have returned to normal, and you've lost 75 pounds. Jesus, it's almost as much as me, and I've been going for years. That's fucking crazy. Good job, man. What's autophagy? Autophagy. What's that? Repairs brain damage from the liquor. It's going to fill in all the holes in my brain. My smooth brain. Indie Grove. Cucumbers. It's funny if you just come into our chat out of context. What up, Harry Brown? Dad Gad. I'm still surprised every time I eat sweet corn. I chew it, but it still comes out whole. There's a rock and roll story from the embattled Marilyn Manson, and they used to have a female roadie. And there's a story involving her and sweet corn, which I think about it every other week. I'm not going to say it. Ryan Swain, keto is satisfying because you feel more energized with less food. Yeah, the only thing is you never stop. I never stop anyway. Craving sugar. It never switches off. And then when you do have the sugar, it's never as fucking wonderful as you think it's gonna be. So it's weird. I wish I could just switch that off where I don't want, beans on toast or something equally British. Skinheads on a raft. Harry Brown, if you think rock and metal is dead, you're not paying enough attention to new bands and local scenes. LOL. All right, Harry. Who's the 19-year-old, 22-year-old Guns N' Roses of today? Who's the Queen? Who's the Who? Who is the Metallica? Go. Tell me, Harry. Julian, the mechanism by which fasting causes health miracles. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm on the final stretch now when it comes to my fucking 120 pound goal. So I've only got another 30 to go. And I think I'm just going to do fasting and no fucking around because with keto, I'll have the protein bars with 1 gram sugar, and it's all bullshit. It just makes you tread water. You don't lose weight when you're doing all those cheap things with the fucking alcohol, sugar, and everything. So this time, I think the next round, I'm going to do fasting and nothing but meat, and then no excuses, and obviously exercising. The Faustian man. As long as you work out hard, you can eat anything you want. Sweets, fats, children. He'll burn it all off. Yeah, but who has the fucking time, mother? To it's you have to work out a lot for my fucking appetite. But yeah, it's true. Japanese dude won the Nobel Prize in 2016 for figuring out how it works. I just can't believe how little research there is to actual keto when it comes to studying it long term. It's been around for long enough, you know? I don't think Nabisco and everyone wants anything uncovered. Charles Wagner, mostly cover bands and really terrible original bands, except for the Texas thrash scene around you. Yeah. Brett Grace at 62. Am I your most handsome viewer? You could be a 5 out of 10 and be my most handsome viewer. Charles Wagner. Then I had to act my age. Never. No way. I'm never acting my age. Anthony Gates, Steel Panther. Yeah. They're like 60. Ryan Swain. One rock band. Main Skin. All right, I'm going to do something real quick. Do-do-do. Let's check this band out. Do they pop? Interesting. I'll check them out. So I'll leave that up and get back to you. Charles Wagner. Yeah. Steel Panther in their 40s. It looks a bit old. It's maybe. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. Man of War is up and coming. Ryan Swain, did I hear about the TikTok napalm slime recipe? No. Blackjack, tiny vanilla sausage closet smell jam session. Val Madness, Muse, they're doing pretty good. Yeah, they're old. It's got to be 50 now. They were from the CD era. Yeah, I'm not saying rock never existed. Faustian Man, loved your video on the Misfits sound. You think Danzig? I didn't do Misfits. And I got a kick out of it when he said no one has tried to figure out their sound. And then you discover about Bleed was damn impressive. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably the Danzig video, right? The Zeke. Free the sausage. Maybe I'll do that on OnlyFans. Rally VW, what are your thoughts on putting a Celestian Blackback in a PV Viper? Shit, man. If you can find a Blackback for less than $500. Personally, I get a better amp than that to put it to for the glory of a Blackback. Blackjack, vanilla sausages deserve being accepted. Yeah. And Valhalla sausages. Yep. Charles Wagner, rock and metal is woke AF. Yeah. It's a lot of guilt. Indie Grove, shout out John Christ. Fucking perfect. Tell you what, the they knew how to back in the day. Like, who would have thought to put Chuck Biscuits together with John Christ? John Christ's first band. How did the fuck did they find these people? You know, I know Chuck was Was he in not Circle Jerks? What band was he in? He was in a old punk hardcore band, right? Adrian Lee. I just saw a fake video with Manowar playing at the Oscars. The first time I saw Manowar, I think it was on British TV, and they were going for the world record for the loudest band. And I was a kid because they've been around for a while. So I was a fucking teenager. And I just remember thinking they looked fucking stupid. New Style. Spain has awesome new metal bands. Witchflower, Hidden, Aeroscreamer, Raging Fire. That's good to know. Spain do something when it comes to metal and rock. I'm not sure who I'm forgetting. Ryan Swain. Owen, you should start a Valhalla sausage only fans and dress up sausages in Norse god outfits. Yeah, Eerie Von as well. Indie. He's a fucking sleazy, a great unit. Charles Wagner. Black metal is cringe. Black metal is just fucking K-pop. It's just people dressing up and pretending to be something they're not. I think they wear more makeup than K-pop stars. Riley VW. I found Celestian Black back in the thrift store for only $6. Fuck off. As well as the original Star Wars trilogy on VHS before Lucas started messing around with it for 50 cents. Holy shit. Awesome. Yeah, Riley, don't put that, don't put a PV Viper with that. No, just get a decent amp. PV's Viper's fine, but come on. You got the fucking Holy Grail. You got the AC/DC speaker. March 12th. Try the technique you talked about in your Heartwood video and put a cardboard around my 2x12 creamback cab and sounded glorious. Yeah, that's the Franken cab that they used. Basically putting two 4x12s back to back with no back on the 4x12 and then taping it all together. Ryan Swain. Black metal is midlife crisis metal. That's the thing about black metal. It gets the kids. The kids love it because of the story and the rest of it, and the oldies like it. Old people like it because it's anguished. You know, I loved it when it first came around. I was like, "This is dark. This is great." And then the decades kept going and nothing was changing, and I was like, "Okay, so now this is black metal with a spoon solo." Or a fucking theremin solo. I'm like, oh, come fuck off. Stephen Hickson. I'm in my early 20s, working 80 hours a week. Oh my god. And still hit to the garage every week for band practice. Already got 6 songs in progress. If you have the passion to make it happen, you'll make time. Fuck yeah, dude. I was doing the same thing. I was working 2 jobs when I was 20 and in a band. I did burn out though. Went a bit weird. Black metal is autistic screeching when you think about it. The thing that galls me the most about black metal is it's usually by bands like that's why I make fun of Dark Throne, who I call Dark Throne, because they were doing the thrash, the death, the technical death metal, and then all of a sudden they went black metal because their little friends started laughing at them. So it's usually people that can play that pretend to play chaotic and um, punk and rough, when they are perfectly capable of playing the same thing, but in time or whatever it is. So it's contrived. It's like painting outside the lines on purpose to prove that you're more primitive than what you are. You know, it's like it's so fucking fake. I like it when I hear teenagers riff it out, you know? Anthony Gates for the $2. Thanks, man. We need a new Gigi Allen. Yeah. Yeah. Gigi was just like, I don't think I want someone to suffer his childhood to create him. You know, you know what I mean? I don't think it's I wouldn't wish his fucking upbringing on anyone. Thanks for the $2, man. Chad Williams, wow, man, how much weight have you lost? I have lost 90 pounds so far. Blackjack. Trick is with the days of Ticketmaster is getting an inverter that can push 500 watts inside your van. There used to be a lot of people that would pull up with flatbed trucks with the band on the back of them. So if you're like outside a venue, they'd pull up and start doing gigs right in front of you because it's you've already got like 1,000 people waiting in line to get into a venue. Some underground shit. Ryan Swain, gotta ask, have you heard of the YouTuber Friendly Geordies? He's got the deputy, he got the deputy premier to resign for majority butt and fart jokes. What? Dadgad. Is Link Ray's Rumble the precursor to metal and rock? Yeah, it was the Rumble. There's a lot of people that claim other songs had distortion before, but in my opinion, the Rumble is the big one because of the. It just sounded tough, and it was more of the ethos of what rock and metal would become. So I think you can't pick a better song to kick it off, distortion, guitar distortion, than that. Because not only did it have the sound, it also had the attitude to the song, where it did sound like a gang fight was about to start. You know, Lionheart Outdoors. I don't understand the marketing of cab sims modelers, but for years people have been into vinyl. Yeah, yep, analog. Dadgad. Gigi Allen's documentary is definitely worth watching. Yeah, I've watched a lot of documentaries on him. It's fucking crazy. He'd attack women. He'd literally attack women that fucked with him. It's like, you know, fuck around and find out. Riley VW. I'm of the 10 people who actually like the music of black metal. Yeah, the thing is, I wish it was only 10. I wouldn't fucking rag on it if it was 10. It's mainstream now. I only rag on it because it killed the underground. It took all the talent gravitated in towards this black metal box. It was like the Borg taking everything over and assimilating young talent to do the same thing. Trend picking, blast beats, anguish screams, rinse repeat. Lyrics are all dark, like in videos roll in the frozen forest. Black and white face paint, all wearing black. Kill me. Blackjack. I think my favorite new sound as far as metal concerned is Aaron, what's his name, from ISIS in the new band Sumac. Any fans of that in you? Blackjack. It's a niche environment, however. Yeah. Charles Wagner. Metal and rock served the purpose to subvert the culture at the time. Now it doesn't serve the purpose of the social engineers. They want to subjugate and alienate threats to their power. Yeah. Chad Williams. Wow, you look brand new. I think it's because I just had my haircut. Thank you. God, I'd rather not have shit thrown at me at a gig though. What he's talking about is Gigi Allen, where he'd shit himself on stage and throw it at the crowd. And that was doing a ballad. Had to wear a poncho at the GG show. Yeah. Charles Wagner, flatbed semi truck gigs are based. Yep, that was the old. That was a big part of the underground back in the day. The last time I saw that, it wasn't that long ago. It was in California, and I was trying to get into the Grove, which is in Anaheim, to see Testament. And Zach Wild doing Black Sabbath Blue Testament off the stage. Val Madness. What I notice is a lot of contemporary rock recordings sound flat and lifeless, especially the drums, whilst new material recordings sound overcompressed, abusing too much of the limiting. Yeah, because it gets squashed again once it goes through um, streaming software, because it gets limited again after you're done. So it's being a mastering engineer right now. You keep having to jump through different boxes because they keep on changing the rules on you. I tell you what, though, how the fuck did what's that? The Doom soundtrack. What's that guy's name that did the Doom soundtrack? The Doom Slayer. How did he get that so loud? Holy shit, that is a blistering mix, man. Fucking kick ass song. I was listening to that in the gym today, like a fucking like typical gym bro listening to Doomslayer doing weights. It's like that's a fucking how original. Indie Gruff, GG Allen TED Talk video. Oh my god, that would be great. Ryan Swain. Okay, then. So the Deputy Premier of New South Wales, Australia. So he was joking about stuff that he did, like corruption. Australia. I don't know what's happened to Australia and Canada, but Trudeau pays. Trudeau actually pays protest left, really lunatic left fringe protesters. He actually pays them to turn up to write to conservative rallies to fuck with them and to do the bullhorns with the alarms to stop them from talking and everything. So Trudeau literally pays them to do it. Blackjack. He has a free band title, Coat Hanger. The name of the first album should be No, it's a plastic one. Adrian Lee. I didn't know Link Ray was Native American, but apparently he was. That's cool. I didn't know that either. Christian Wagner, lol. I wonder how many people got fucked up by a Bible at a striper show. Throw panties on the stage, they're throwing Bibles on the stage. Indie Graph. Why is Dave Grohl everywhere? Because his dad was a speechwriter for Reagan. Anthony Gates. Kurt and Dave Grohl hated each other. I don't think Kurt liked anyone. He was like, he hated his family. Well, he loved his aunt, but everybody else, he's just one of those people that was just fucking miserable, you know. Riley VW. The Doom soundtrack is gent downright. Yeah, it's like it's industrial gent, really, but it's done really well. And just the fucking how loud they got it to sound and atmospheric. If all gent was like that, I wouldn't rag on it so much. Yeah, did anybody know that Dave Grohl's dad wrote speeches for president back in the day? So I'm not saying it's complete nepotism when it comes to him because he is talented, but if you have a cushy upper middle class background, you don't struggle as much, so you can you can pursue your art more than if you were, a starving musician, which he wasn't. But he was down with the punks. He lived it rough. He did his dues. He cut his teeth. Charles Wagner. Canada is burning down their forests for some reason. That's nuts, man. I went to Banff 3 years ago on vacation, and I just found out that some female firefighters went on like a retreat, and part of the retreat was to light a fire and put it out, and they ended up like burning half the forest down, and it got out of control. It's just these headlines write themselves. Charles Wagner. I guess the cost of plywood is about to skyrocket. I tell you what, I always used to get Canadian wood for my guitars, my fretboards. It's always like solid, really solid, no splitting. For the maple, Canadian maple is dirt cheap, man. Indiegrove, Ken Marshall YouTube channel, production pro tips. Agent Reckless, what's the bare minimum of mics I can use for drums? I'm on super tight budget. I was thinking four mics. Four mics will get you there. Yep. Two overheads, one on the snare, one on the bass drum. Then you just got to keep on moving them around. The room depends on where the kit is in the room as well. Blackjack, I think Ghost basically narrows down on the key demographic of goth girls from the Midwest. Yeah, long may continue. When I went to see Ghost, I got actually drunk, because I never get drunk, but I actually got like fucking really drunk. And me and the missus were waiting out back after the gig to see if we could catch him, going to the tour bus. And it was fucking Goth Girl Central. And they were proper goths too. Ones with like old wounds all the way up down all the arms, you know what I mean? Cutters. Chris Wagner, it's a tiny little club and we ain't in it. Yeah. Yeah. Lobbyists. Ryan Swain, Owen, are you interested in making a podcast? My idea is we make fun of metal tropes and listen to the viewers of this channel's music, among other things. That is kind of what I'm interested in, is doing something called the Fuck You Network, where it's almost like a TV guide for people who are live streaming rock and metal based things. So even if it's talking, even if it's reviews, but it has to be live streamed, not pre-recorded shit. So that's my big plan. So then you could open up your app, and at 10 o'clock, my stream will be on. At 10 o'clock, there'll be other streamers, say, changing strings or something. So you'll always know that there's someone on that is playing, talking about, creating a live band playing, because a lot of live bands stream now. So you can flick through the channels on your phone, and it'll tell you this is on YouTube, this is on Twitch, this is on whatever, and you can open it up on your phone. You can watch it on your phone. That's my idea. It's called the Fuck You Network. So that's what I'm working on. I was looking up apps, building software recently. Indiegraph, I did not know that about Dave's dad. Yeah, for Reagan. And Reagan is pretty much when things started to go really badly when it came to the FBI and CIA getting infiltrated. I think it was Bush Sr. that was the head of the CIA when Reagan was there, and that's when things got really dirty. Riley VW. It's also telling that the best metal I've had in the last decade is from a Japanese, an anime, an FPS game. Yeah, so, well, my favorite anime rock song is called. What is it called? It's called Brothers or something, or something to do with twins. I can't remember. Fuck. But it's a Naruto song. It's on one of the Naruto seasons. But it kicks ass, man. I love the compression that these gonzo Japanese hyper rock bands can do. The compression on the whole thing is fucking glorious. All squashed, all the snares squashed to shit, but it just sounds good, you know? Charles Wagner, Canadian Rosewood is fantastic. I don't like Rosewood though. I didn't think there was much Canadian Rosewood. The I don't like it because it's super endangered, so it's like pointless. It doesn't give you that much better than anything else when it comes to tone and sound. And there's Canadian maple is fucking everywhere, so I might as well use that. I don't agree with using rosewood. I'm not some sort of hippie, but I don't want to kill a fucking an entire species, and people are getting murdered over it in Indonesia and everything because it's like ivory. It's a poacher's gangster's paradise when it comes to rosewood. I think it's called Lovers. The song, the Naruto song. Charles Wagner, Ghost is fucking great. Yes, they are. I really like the early stuff. The first album I think was done with Orange amps and an SG. And then after that, he went Marshall. But the Orange stuff sounded so gnarly and shit, but in a good way. Reagan fucked everything up. Bush Senior was VP. Okay, it was just before I started, you know, getting into politics. I thought he was in the CIA for some reason. Bush Senior. I guess you can do both, right? Blackjack, Circle Tone. How do I feel about touring? Uh, I love it. I love it. But now it's fucked because it's too expensive. The price of energy, the price of hotels are fucking ridiculous to book hotels these days. The prices are fucking. I don't know how they stay in business, and to be honest, I don't think they do. I think everything's being priced out now to so investors can buy up swathes of properties when they run out of juice. Ryan Swain, the problem with the fuck you network is you'd have to make revenue, which would require a paywall, also the talent necessary before any of that. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. I was thinking the revenue aspect could be when it's my block, when it's 10 p.m. I'm the only one you're allowed to see, but that's kind of shitty. So then I get all the viewers. But, you know, but that could also be a hub then where everybody tunes in and we all talk about the good shit that's going on the other channels. So I'm not adverse to getting my pound of flesh out of it, but I think that will be one way of me making money from it. Rally VW, Crimson Flame is my favorite track from Naruto. There's some bangers, right? Some of those intros and outros. I'm going to put it in chat so you can listen to it. Hold on, give me a second. The Naruto song that I like. It's got this chick singer on there and she's hitting these crazy notes. Fucking awesome. I'm not sure if I will be able to post a link into my own chat, but we're going to find out. And the bass guitar on there is kicking as well. There you go. Copy link address. Watch me paste some trans porn by mistake in there. One of my old links. All right, I'm going to post it in there, and you got to promise me that you'll come back. Now, for people who don't know, Naruto is the most annoying thing I ever heard in my life because my wife was listening to it and she was watching the Japanese version. And it was so annoying, nothing but these screeching kids. And I was like, and she was like, trust me, you're going to like it. Trust me, you're going to like it. And I grudgingly watched it. and it was the deepest philosophy when it comes to war and seeing it from the perspectives of all the different sides that were the warring factions. It was crazy. It was like really good. A lot of filler episodes that were really annoying, but Naruto, if you're into anime, I'm not really. I've seen a few, but that one was like fucking crazy. And this is a soundtrack to one of the seasons. Let's see. All right, there's a link. And just listen to the high energy of the bass, the drums, the guitars, the vocals, the performance. It's good shit, man. Lionheart Outdoors. Am I still doing Patreon? Yeah, there should be a Patreon link in the description. I looked it up and it said zero videos. Yeah, I don't do videos through Patreon. It's just people that want to be a patron of mine. The 180, the 180.90 a month is just how much I get paid by all the patrons in total. There's a couple of fives, a couple of 20s, things like that. So you don't have to pay 100. You can pay $2 a month if you want. But in the future, all my tone recreation videos are going to be through Patreon. But like I say, if you want to hear it, just ask me and I'll send you a link to the actual video. So yeah, with the Fuck You Network, my tagline is going to be "The underground is dead, long live the underground," because the underground is dead. So I want to see if we can do something that will help create just a new network for the underground on the Fuck You Network. Is my plan. But I have to make it sure that it's automated, that you sign up, but it has to know when you go live, so it can upload your link um, into the guide. So that has to be the automated aspect. So because nobody's gonna stick to a 10 p.m. slot and then start live streaming straight away. Nobody's gonna stick to that. Nobody ever does. So it has to be something that is will update itself live. So it's got to be a live app. So it's going to be tough to fucking do. Benjamin, did Pantera ever have a bad album? I can't name one. Just a thought. Fucking the first one was pretty shit. First and last were pretty, the last one relatively for them. Charles Wagner. Bush Senior was the CIA director in the 70s, I think. Okay. Agent Reckless. A friend sent me a Minus Mogul by Summoning. Give it a listen. Thought it was a very modern album at first. I was shocked to then realize it came out in 1995. Yeah. Yeah. That's. I think it peaked. I think black metal peaked around that time when it came to the scene. And then the internet happened. And then the underground was lost. Blackjack. The revolution is going on tour in spite of it all. Reza Khan. Hey, welcome back, man. What's up, guys? What do you think about XYZ's Hungry album guitar tone? XYZ, man. That's fucking going back a bit. I don't know what he used in that album. Any ideas? I don't know myself. But a lot of the shit back then was usually a Plexi or JCM 800 with a boost. A lot of those albums were. Joel Null, what do I think of the band Queen? Fucking probably Brian May's got the best phrasing bends in history, in my opinion. His bends are fucking sublime. And there's something that I kind of got owned in comments. I was talking about the Sex Pistols, right? Where I thought maybe session musicians did a lot of the guitars on Nevermind the Bollocks with the Sex Pistols. And because part of my argument was he could barely play before the album. And then after the album, every other stuff that Steve Jones did, he sounded like a gorilla playing. He didn't have that finesse that was on the first album. And so part of my argument was, if he played all the bass and all the guitars on Nevermind the Bollocks, and that is an absolute shining fucking gem of a polished rock album, right? Because it's not rough at all. It's the guitars and bass sound fucking amazing. So my argument is, why wasn't he an in-demand bass player? Why didn't anything he do after Nevermind the Bollocks make any dent in rock and metal? You know, well, not metal, but rock and punk. But then somebody said, like, why, since Freddie Mercury died, why hasn't Queen done shit? You know? So maybe it was just some one aspect of one person that was there, be it producer or engineer or whatever, that made the difference for the Sex Pistols. Just like Freddie Mercury might have been that genius in the studio, picking things apart, helping with the arrangements. So maybe he was the actual genius in the band Queen, because everything since, it's happened to the Who, you know? When, I mean, obviously Keith Moon isn't going to be pushing buttons and the rest of it. But it's fucking crazy how a dynamic can change that bad with the one member missing. So I think modern recording fucked the Who up as much as anybody else, to be honest. But that kind of like made me think, I think, yeah, maybe there is a reason why he didn't do anything after that album. Maybe there was somebody or something that was the fairy dust and the glue that glued all that era together, you know? Charles Wagner, no one cares about your guitar tone, bro. How about them songs, though? Yep. Yeah, I'm so done with riffs. I'm so done with guitar tone being good. It's like, work on the choruses, work on the fucking meat, work on the song. Riley VW, I forgot how good this OP was. Charles Wagner, I'll be a patron if you can send me a JCM 800 to rip on for a week. Hey man, there's JCM 800 VSTs out there for free. They're just as good. Lionheart Outdoors, thanks. Indie Grove. The Abbott brothers' dad was an interesting guy. Produced their first albums through Far Beyond Driven. Yeah, it's people's upbringing, man. If it involves somebody who loves music and really backs your kid's passion, because they were obviously really passionate about Kiss. So it just goes to show what you can do if you give the kids all the tools they need to go as far as they can, you know. So Eddie Van Halen, all sorts of people, like they were raised in musical families, you know. J Man Jax, would I ever do a tone recreation for Trouble? The tone is so dense and epic. Yeah, that'll be a good one. Yeah, Charles Wagner, Daddy Abbott was an outlaw audio engineer. Yeah. Yeah, they were into the outlaw country too, right? Charles Wagner, Queen is a pure nostalgia act. Yeah, Queen on Ice. Ryan Swain. It was the energy with Queen. Freddie Mercury was a god tier musician, and no one else could even come close. I agree, man. I'm almost positive that is why Queen wasn't the same after Freddie died. Yeah, Freddie was a force, an absolute force. He's a good boxer too, apparently. Lionheart. I'm worn out on the gear marketing of Instagram. I simply want to craft my sound. Yeah. The guitar sounds from a lot of the late 80s and early 90s were very interesting because there was a lot of weird fucking gigs started flying around gear. It went from the Marshall to some other stuff being introduced. And, things like Nine Inch Nails using old Zoom units and stuff like that. So tone got interesting in the 90s. Blackjack. I got more meat than my wheelbarrow can handle. Charles Wagner, write a good chorus and everything else will show up. Yeah. You know what metal people are doing? Fucking minute long intros of futuristic sounds before anything even fucking starts. You give that to an A&R person back in the day and they'd be next, you'd be thrown into a bin. That happened with early death metal too, with like anguished fucking sounds of hell before every fucking album would start. And Type of Negative started taking the piss out of it. Charles Wagner, Wizard Modern is a great sounding amp. Wizard, I've always respected Wizard amps. Charles Wagner, the Diamond Hammersmith is surprisingly good. It's a good. There's a good amp company that do like supercharged British sounding amps, and they're called Dover amps. If you ever see a Dover, try one out. They're pretty rare, but they're really solid. Indie Grove, is it true Wayne Static used a valve state amp? Yes, it is. He also used the matching cab and the shitty hill cab with it. Yeah, first album was valve state. I recreated it. If you search Circle of Tone and Static X, I use the same amp and I sound pretty damn close. Lionheart Outdoors, late 80s crossover punk metal is so much excitement and exposure. Yeah, that was the time, man. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky old amp. It's if you move, the EQ is really sensitive on it, and he sweeps through a lot of frequencies. It's kind of hard to dial in, but for a solid state amp, it's good. But it's very it breaks down very easily, so it's not a great quality amp. But Prong used them. A couple of guys used them. I snap your fingers. Nope. Snap your neck. Snap my fingers. Vinicius, how's it going, man? Charles Wagner. I love the Marshall JVM. It's got all the sounds. JVM's pretty fucking loud too. There's one for sale near me for really cheap. Somebody stuck a bunch of googly eyes on it and then pulled it off. So there's a bunch of like little glue blotches all over the front of it. Indigraph. It may be how I found your channel. I have 90s versus 100 UK made. Okay. Yeah. For the Static X. There's some good info in that video too of how they, Wayne Static used to record his vocals naked for that album. He's rocking out with his cock out. Yeah, the op amp always blows in the foul state. Yeah, and the inputs are always really fucking flimsy too. Band chemistry, J Man at Jax. J Man Jax. Band chemistry definitely matters. REM was never the same after Bill Barry left. Yeah. Yeah. Travis. I wouldn't call the valve state great, but with a little help, it was a good amp. Most people paired it with a pad like a Heavy Metal 2 or DS1. Yeah, it's tight. That's the thing with solid state. So it was good for some stuff like Prong and Static X, where it's really it's industrial sounding, you know. Blackjack, I agree. Chemistry is basically the law of the universe. Yeah. Yeah. Indigrove. I also have a Vox AC15 creamback. 12 watt 2x12 Vox cab. Nice. Try that thing with everything on 10. It sounds fucking amazing. Lionheart Outdoors. He talked about Overkill a few days back. It's incredible to see them open for Megadeth pre-sales tour. Oh my god. Fucking, that must have been amazing. Ryan Swain. I have an old crate GX 2x12 at $30 at the time. 10 band EQ and a used noise suppressor. I bought it. Sounds better than any VST. Yeah, that'll do the trick. Grave. Bad thing about internet is the moment someone sniffs good gear, the prices skyrocket. Yeah. Yeah, there was like if there's a rumor about um say Queens of the Stone Age used a piece of gear, all of a sudden a shitty PV amp is like $800, and he probably didn't even use it. He's just like lying about shit he used. Indigraph. I ran the VS100 head through a Hartkey KB15 bass cab. So you ran it through a 15-inch bass speaker. That's not a bad idea because there's a lot of fucking fizzly, sizzly top end on that amp. I fucking dig it. I can make that work. Rally VW. Bands nowadays never find their own sound, just copy what's popular. Yes. That is why we are here. Our Valhalla sausages trying to preach a different way from the V. You know, even the VSTs are all based on an SM57 Vintage 30, like practically all of them, you know? They'll have the greenback. Oh my god. Blackjack. Greenback 75 ceramics, anyone? Yeah, I had those in this for a long time. In my opinion, they're some of the better current production Celestians you can buy. Charles Wagner, 25-watt greenbacks or death. Depends what you're playing. Horses for courses. Blackjack. I'm not telling anything else about Kia here. Evil laugh. Hey, spill the beans, bitch. Lionheart Outdoors. Megadeth Peace Cells was in a small club in Raleigh, New. Oh my god. NC back then you could get right up front. Dude, I bet that was a violent ass fucking pit. I think around about that time, that was just before Dave started getting into heavy drugs. So you would have had a good show. He didn't think that there were fucking bugs crawling under his skin. It's good to see Dave looking looser though, because he was walking around like fucking Ozzy Osbourne for a while. He had some shit going on with his neck, but I think he had surgery, and I've noticed he doesn't look like he has a spinal injury anymore. That poor bastard has been through it. Poor bastard. He's been pretty selfish, but I would have killed to be in that gig, seeing fucking Megadeth and Overkill in the 80s. I can't even remember Overkill coming to the UK. I think they did though. They did a few in London. Ryan Sway, 99.99% of metal musicians now are more manly because they suck dick and eat ass. Uh, Blackjack, I'll talk, but we have to go on a date first. Just make sure you cover your drink around me. I'll get your secrets out of you. yeah, now I wish there was more emphasis on uh, um with YouTubers trying to find out why they've alienated the public when it comes to new rock and metal. The public have no idea we're in this little group right here talking about metal. The general public have no idea what's going on in rock and metal, you know? Sucks. MC Demolition Hammer is coming to Oakland. My favorite thrash band. Shit, yeah. Charles, Overkill was always an East Coast band. Yeah, Jersey. Lionheart Outdoors. After the concert, I was trying to find the 10-string BC Rich that Dave played. Yeah, they're always getting their gear nicked and then, or sold by Dave for drugs. Yeah, on the Peace Sales album, they had guitars by Marshall and BC Rich, right? I think they had that written on there because Chris Poland used to work for BC Rich. He used to be one of the guys that actually worked. I'm not sure if he, I think he was building guitars too. I know he put on, he was working with the guys in Slayer. He was upgrading their pickups and that type of thing. I think he was even installed trems. I think he installed the floating trem on some of Slayer's guitars. Val Madness, Schwarzenegger, blunge metal will be the next trend. Get to the chopper. Blackjack, we live in a 1984 hellscape, man. Yeah, I think just like if we could find just a place to get away from anything mainstream because it gets forced into our feeds. If you can get away from it, then you know life doesn't seem so bleak because on purpose they bombard us with news that's going to piss us off on purpose. And some of the news is generated by them. Some of it's actual bullshit, like tiki torches and you know white supremacy is rampant, and it's like, look outside. Where's all these fucking goose stepping Nazis? I know it's bad in some southern states, but generally, I mean, there's Biden bombed the Middle East into the fucking dark ages where there's literal slave trading going on. You don't hear the left complaining about that because they don't know about it. Travis Spalding, Phil Anselmo said that in the 90s, bands took their 10 favorite bands and ripped them off, but found a new sound. New bands are taking their two favorite bands and ripping them off. Fucking hey, yeah, that's a good point. That's pretty profound. Yeah, yeah, Travis, that's pretty cool. Ryan Swain, would a football player go to the Super Bowl never practicing? That's why guitarists play for other guitarists, so when that chance comes, they got it. Like how men eat each other's ass so one can takes it. Ryan, calm down, bro. Enough ass eating. I'm full. Model 101 Junior. They want to deny us any escapism or sense of joy. Yeah, what they want you to do is to get the poor to blame the poor for their problems. So the left will point at the right for their problems, and the right will point at the left for their problems. When it's really lobbyists who are laughing their asses off, they spin us like two spinning tops, and we boop, 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 and they watch us like that in their ivory towers because we're not coming for them with pitchforks. We're coming for each other like fucking idiots. Don't bite. Cascade Explorer. Hey, man. Hey, Owen. Had first band practice tonight. Well, I totally messed up and couldn't keep timing the drummer. I powered through, but was completely humbled by the time we wrapped up. Oh, it's the worst, man. It's the worst. But you got to put your hours in. Keep on going. I get you, though. Sometimes even me, and I can play guitar real good. I can get it put in a situation and I blow it, because something happens sometimes where it's just you, you, it's like not stage fright. It's like you just can't coordinate for some reason. Lionheart Outdoors, Corrosion of Conformity almost brought me into the crossover, but they were from my hometown, which is an all ages show. That was revolutionary back then. Yeah, I actually liked their thrash period better than their groove sludge period. Dance of the Dead and all that shit is fucking amazing. Blackjack. What pisses me off about people who protest and demonstrate these days, instead of rocking out in the parking lot, they want to pull down statues at the museum and shoot at Popeye's chicken. Yeah, it's fucking mental. And the thing is, it started off really when Occupy Wall Street happened. So then Obama signed some midnight legislation to make peaceful protest in an area where there were certain rules illegal. So if there was if there was a certain person there from a certain um, government agency has had a certain clearance, if there's anybody there with that type of clearance, you're not allowed to protest there. So it's like, and they'd cordon them off to a dedicated protest site, but that was where the news cameras could avoid them because people were starting to turn on the news crews turning up. So then the news crews could then cover it with fake footage of there's nobody there actually protesting. So protesting got really fucked up by Obama. Yeah, Obama was pretty much a Wall Street plant from Citibank. Imagine that going to an Ivy League college like fucking Harvard and then being in with Wall Street. Imagine that, because that's what Obama fooled me at the time. One of the best public speakers since Kennedy, in my opinion. Political public speaker. Model 101 Junior. Phil is the fucking man. I'll throw down over that shit. Phil, there's a great talk he did in front of a college about addiction, and it's about an hour and a half long. I highly recommend you, if you're struggling with alcoholism or drugs, opiates, whatever. I highly recommend you to listen to that, to his speech. It's fucking, no wonder he's fucked up. Chris Wagner. I remember when girls used to show up at rock shows. Yeah, me too. Fun. Ryan Swain. Am I wrong? Guitarists play for each other so that they're ready. They do. Guitarists do tend. I know that I was a victim of that on forums where it would almost be competitive, where we're trying to get the better tone, the bit tighter, faster. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of it is competitive, which I'm fine with, but I'd rather them be competitive with other bands rather than other guitarists. Indie growth. It's hard to play with new people. Yeah, it is. I think it's best really on your first rehearsal is not to learn the song beforehand. You just go there and jam, like with your own riffs and their own. Just loosen up, get used to each other, crack a beer. Travis Spaulding, fun fact: Reed Mullen loved Accept. The intro drum fill on Albatross is exactly the same drum fill in the intro to Balls to the Wall. That's funny. Model 101 Junior, all government people are fucking plants, in my humble opinion. A lot of them are. I mean, AOC was actually almost like film casted into her role in government. So it's literal actress. Blackjack. Oh yeah, man, the arts is infiltrated most definitely by all sorts of intelligence agencies and propaganda dispersers. Yep. A lot of culture from modern art to the acid scene to gangster rap. A lot of that was backed by intelligence agencies. They had to create problems to push legislation through to fix the problems, and it just so happened that for-profit prisons or uh, um, gun lobby would have to make a lot of money from it. Do, 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 do.
Documents for every one of my stories.
What's going on? All right. Yeah, like I say, like Grateful Dead were pretty much not. It wasn't the band you think it was. Put it that way. Lionheart Outdoors being different in 1989. Seeing Jane's Addiction, it helped bring in the girls. I'd also say seeing Wayne Hussey and The Mission. Yeah, Jane's Addiction. They were interesting start to that band. I'm pretty sure his parents were rich, the singer, and they ended up like getting a squat, and there was all sorts of artistic people in and out of the squat, and the band kind of just started just adding riffraff to the band, and then it became Jane's Addiction. Like some of the advice that I give out if you're a young musician, get a band house because a band house created Jane's Addiction. A, a, a place where you can always create together. Rally VW musicians deserve the industry they're given, just like gamers. Yeah, we 100% deserve everything we get in today. If you're frustrated with the government, it's all our faults for not protesting enough, or you know, we deserve it. They'll only push as much as they get pushed back, and they're not getting pushed back at all. They just get people complaining online, and that's it. They can deal with that. They can't deal with the pitchforks. Ryan Swain, you still talking about some man love in the comments? You're inflamed, brother. Ryan Swain, is the 9/11 limitation still active? It's a meme that keeps on being brought up in my chat. Blackjack, Gibby from Battle Surfers used to shoot birdshot over the crowd during live shows. Animal. Cascade Explorer. Oh, and just out of curiosity, how did you end up moving from the UK to Florida? My dad is a musician, and they broke up with my mother when I was young, but he kept on going back and forth to the US, and he finally became permanent in the US. So I come over and visit, and I decided to. I fell in love with America myself, and I fell in love with it, and decided to apply for my green card, and here I am. Model 101 Junior. Movements get hijacked every time. Funny how it happens every fucking time. Yep. Every aspect gets, if what it is, if you have a platform, if you start taking eyeballs away from Jimmy Fallon, NBC assets, the BBC, you know, all of a sudden you become problematic. And they'll find a way to fuck up your little group and make you seem like a monster. All right, people. It's been a good chat. I'm going to get out of here. So take it easy. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And